What's up, everybody? So today I am finally going to talk about sort of more of the tangibles of what is the modern outlaw. Everything I've done so far has been spiritually based, faith based, and that is by far that is the most important part of the modern outlaw. Part of being a modern outlaw in today's society, in this country, in today's day and age, is rejecting secularism and becoming a person of faith. It is extremely important, and it's extremely good for you, good for your soul to do so. If you commit your life to the faith, you will be saved, and you will not suffer eternal torment and damnation. But then there's the more tangible side of the modern outlaw, which is, how do we live while we're here on this earth, on this side of heaven? One of the things that I truly believe and live my life and abide by is cars. I love cars. I am what you would call a car guy. I've loved cars all my life. I've got a lot of cars. Not a lot, but definitely more than your average Joe. And one thing that you realize when you become familiar with cars, old cars and new cars especially, right? Once you have that contrast in your life, you quickly realize that new cars are a scam. They are overpriced. I just saw an article the other day, which is kind of what really prompted me to talk about the subject, that the new car price, it is October, the end of October of 2025, the average price for a new car has officially hit $50,000. That is insane. Most people can't afford that. Borrowing money on a car for 5, 6, 7 years. If you need to do it, you can't afford it. That's a value on this channel. That's a value I hold very near to my heart. New cars are overpriced, overcomplicated. They are full of proprietary crap that is made cheaply, and when it breaks, a lot of it can't be fixed. The problem with new cars is the OEs, the auto manufacturers, have officially innovated us into oblivion, basically. These cars are they're nicer than people's houses. They do way more than they need. This whole idea of cars need to get just perpetually fancier and fancier is just ridiculous. And it is just, a car is supposed to get you reliably and affordably from point A to point B. And that is the fundamental problem with new cars. Us regular modern people, as the middle class in this country continues to shrink, as we continue to feel the crunch of increasing costs, inflation, that will probably not slow down anytime soon. I believe we will look up in a decade from now and see that inflation is still going on. As these costs bear down on us, the idea of the forever car is going to become more and more prominent. A car made in 2025 is made to be expensive, overly fancy, overly complicated. It's made to lock you in to that car. The problem with the new car market with new cars is they lock you in and they wring you dry. If you buy a new car in 2025 and you hang on to it for 50, 70, 100, 150,000 miles and it breaks, it is so complicated, so expensive to fix, you have no choice but to go back into the car market and get a new car. This system is a complete scam that's meant to lock you in and keep you in this cycle that has you buying a new car over and over and over again over time. It's exactly where the OEs want you. That's where they want all of us. So how do we reject that? That's where Uncle Tony, all credit out to him for this idea, or for the term really. It's an idea that's kind of been around, but he kind of coined the term, an obvious term, the forever car. And the forever car is a car that you buy with the intention of keeping it forever, for as long as you possibly can, until the day that somebody hits it. Your plan hits it and totals it, right? Your plan is to keep that car. So, what is the forever car? There's a few principles that it's a very broad spectrum of cars, but the some of the parameters have to be that surround the forever car ideas. It has to be a post interstate era car. Everybody loves the classics. They're so simple, they're mechanically simple, they're so easy to maintain and work on. And that's true, but the problem is when you get to the pre 1965, 1960 cars, those cars were designed and built for an era where the interstate system wasn't a thing. Those cars struggle to live in today's world of 70 miles an hour, just that type of infrastructure. So the forever car, it's broad. It depends on the car. I would say about 1965 until 2005, 10. Huge spectrum. These are cars. This is the era. This is the bulk of this era is made of cars that are simple enough, mechanically friendly enough, and have the necessary engineering behind them to be usable in this system, this interstate era system that we have, and be able to be driven and be kept on the road for an extremely long period of time, ideally forever. I've got some good examples of a forever car, and I have some bad examples of a forever car. And one of my good examples of a forever car is my 2007 Dodge Caliber that I had. You may have been expecting me to say Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla is a great example. Honda, those are the obvious ones, right? Those cars, they run for 250,000 miles. Then you go through, replace a bunch of stuff, and then they'll do another 250,000 miles. Yeah, those cars are very good for that purpose. This 2007 Dodge Caliber that I actually sold, I no longer have it. I had this car for a good few years. It was my commuter car. It was a very good car. Um, this car was a good example of a forever car. It was 2007, so obviously post interstate. Um, it had air conditioning, which is nice. It's a good feature. Not totally necessary in most places of the country, but if you have kids, air conditioning, you should have air conditioning. Um, it had air conditioning, and that is all that car had. Crank windows, manual pull up and down locks, no analog brakes. This car was just simple. That car had 150,000 miles when I bought it, and it had almost 190,000 miles when I sold it. And I had to do a couple things on it. I had to do some things. I had to change the air conditioning compressor. I had to change the tie rods, a couple things like that. The oil pressure sensor, changed that. But not a hard car to work on, not overly complicated. It was a very clean car. It was in great shape, had no rust. That's the nice thing about down here in the South is if you can get a car that's lived in the South, it's going to have no rust, and it should never have rust. That Caliber got over 30 miles to the gallon. It was just a good car. That was a car that I could have kept for a very long time. Why did I sell it? Well, because we had another baby, and my wife wanted a bigger car. And so I took her Dodge Caliber. Yes, we had two Dodge Calibers. I started driving hers because hers is a 2012, had a lot less miles, and we sold that one off. Otherwise, I would have kept that car for a long time. So that's what we need to do as a culture and as a society is we need to increasingly reject this absurd, disposable, new, cyclical, new car all the time, right? It's ridiculous, it's wasteful, and that's not who we are. Anybody can buy a new car, but it takes a real man to keep the car running. Keep your car running, all right? You don't need to be, oh, this part went out, it's got high miles, I'm gonna sell it. Don't do that. Don't fall into that. That's weak. Don't be weak. Keep your car on the road. Keep driving it. Be the guy that people go, man, he's had that car a long time. That's impressive. He's kept that car on the road. It's a skill that you should have. If you can't work on cars, learn how to work on cars. It's good for you. It's good for your wallet. It's something that if you can do, great. Lean into that. Keep it going. If you can't do, figure it out. Learn to do it. There's no excuse not to be able to do most things on a car. If your car's too fancy and complicated and you can't work on it, sell it and get something simpler. Nobody cares about what you drive. You're impressing nobody with your car. You never will impress anybody. Everybody buys these lame new cars. They're all the same. They're all white, gray, or black. They all look the same. They're all overcomplicated. They all have the same features. They're all expensive, and nobody looks at them. Nobody looks at your car and goes, wow, that's a nice car. You know why? Because they've got it. Everybody else has got it. You're impressing nobody. So let it go. Get out of the rat race. Get a car that you can pay cash for, and you can keep running by your own means. And within that era, within the parameters that I've talked about of those cars, the forever era of cars, the forever car era, you can move around within that. I'm not saying buy one car and never get rid of it and keep it forever. So with this rant of mine, I got a couple Bible verses I want to discuss in the spirit of this video. Romans 13:8. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another, for whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. If you have a car payment, that money every month is being sent to a bank to cover interest for a loan that you got for a car that nobody's impressed by. Own your car outright. It's biblical. It really is. Got another one. Proverbs 22:7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Who do you want to be? You got a car loan? You chose to be the poor, and you're being ruled by the rich. You're going to work to pay a car note on a car that you couldn't afford, that you shouldn't own. So if you have that car, and it's not a ridiculous car, like it kind of follows the parameters of what I've talked about in the video in terms of a car that you can maintain, that isn't going to crap out on you in 5-10 years from now, and there's going to be no way to fix it, and you'd have no idea how to fix it. If this is a car that you're like, man, when this thing starts to have problems, I can keep it going. Pay that car off. Prioritize it and get it paid off. Don't be the poor ruled by the rich. Don't be the borrower that's slave to the lender. So, I've got a lot more to say on cars. It's going to be something I talk about quite a bit on this channel. I may or may not post actual car content on this channel. Maybe I might put that on another channel. I don't really know. I don't know what I want to do there. We'll see. But with that being said, thank you for watching. And if you have a prayer request, feel free to put it down below, and I will pray for you. All right. I had to run back out here, and I'm editing this in here because I had to run back out here and throw this in the video because it was too good not to miss. Goes with the whole thing that I was talking about perfectly. So I film the video that you're watching right now, and I go in the house, and I'm just kind of hanging out, and I see a thing. Volkswagen is having a worldwide infotainment system collapse, or it's down, and they're working to resolve it within 48 hours. And the problem is the screens on these cars are completely black. They're off, like they're black because of this. It's down in Germany and their headquarters, wherever. And these people that own these cars, they can't work their air conditioning, they can't work their radios, they can't do anything because the infotainment system is down. Because for some freaking reason, not only does all of those basic functions have to be within the screen, the infotainment of the car, but it has to be connected to Germany at all times in order to function. So what happens if, let's say you were to own one of those cars 10, 15, 20 years from now, and Volkswagen decides they don't want to support that system anymore? Your screen's black from now on? You see what I'm saying? These new cars, this is insane. These cars are designed to fail. They're designed for you to buy them, use them for a little bit, and then something happens or the manufacturer goes, oh, you're done. Buy a new one. Oh, you don't have 50 grand? Well, that's too bad. We have a credit system. We'll borrow it to you. Get out of this system. You got to get out of this system. It's rigged, this whole thing. Buy a car that you can turn the air conditioning on or the heater, whether their headquarters is working or not. Their servers. That's insane. All right. I had to run out here and record this. With that being said, thank you for watching. And if you have a prayer request, feel free to put it down below and I will pray for you. And thank you for watching, and God bless.